So today we're going to take a look through this mini album that my mom created and designed and put together. And so I've got here with me in spirit. She's on the other phone. And so we're going to do a walkthrough today. And so you'll hear both her voice and my voice. So my mom, I'm calling her Mom, but you would all know her as Ruth Glazinski. Say hello, Mom.
Hello, ladies.
And so she's going to be doing the main part of the talking, and I'm coming along for the ride. So I'll let her start with a little introduction.
Oh, okay. I had such fun making this album. It's not a fast project, I must admit. It takes a bit of time, but it is so special, and it's something that somebody would have forever. And now I used the papers to make it as an album that I could give to someone who was getting married. So it's sort of set up as a wedding album. Okay, Monica's showing you the top. Now you see that those are called signatures, each little thing. And they're all hooked to a hinge and holds the 6 signatures. And then there's the album cover. So we're going to do a walkthrough so you can see each page. And the papers that I decided to use, it so inspired me to take this route, is one of the 2 major paper design packets in our new core catalog. And this is called Lovely. And I don't know who named it, but they were brilliant in deciding to do that, because this paper is lovely. Okay, so on the front, you can see that I've matted the design paper, and I've put some little embellishments. You can embellish albums any way you like, but I chose to do it with matted images. I like the dimension that it builds up. Now our thing on the front there, the pink frame is matted with 2 shades of green, a pale green, which is sage, and then the pattern paper behind that is a matte, and then the dark green, which is evergreen, and then I put some white in it as well, just to separate it out and, as I say, add the dimension. And I also put a little bit of liquid glass on that pink frame. That pink is ballerina. It's a very pale and not too in-your-face kind of pink.
The liquid glass really shows that up. Makes it look like a really dimensional embellishment.
It does. It does a lot. And the love is actually an old stamp set if some of you have the older cricket cartridges that came with stamp sets and such, that's one of them. And I've used it so many times. I just love it.
And you did that with white embossing too.
That's white embossing. I actually stamped it with white pigment ink and then put white embossing powder on top of it, so I got the double effect of the white. I've been doing that a lot lately, and I like the effect. There's so much you could do with that white pigment paste, or pigment ink, pardon me.
Yep. And then on the spine you included a little sticker so that if it's sitting on your shelf, you'll know which album you're looking at.
Absolutely.
Did a few layers there. And you carried the paper over to the back, too.
Yes. And put a little sticker on the bottom. You see there. Some of the little embellishments and compliments, I guess, can be purchased with the lovely paper packet from the core catalog. But I also had on hand, which helped me carry out my wedding inspiration, had on hand an older set of like die cuts. They're called True Love.
Yes,
True
that's
Love.
where this one is from.
And it's all wedding themed. So the one on the spine is from that pack of things. And those things are so gorgeous.
Yeah.
I know you use the PML cards a lot.
Yeah.
And in different projects, and this would be similar to using those. So.
All right, so let's jump right in here to the first page. So as you open it up, you'll see how pretty the edges look. I love that, with all the pretty die-cut lacy bits. So what have we got here?
Inside the front, I put a very large pocket. Now, for this one, I've just tucked in a couple of cards that can be used for sticking photos on or what. But my actual first thought was that the pocket would be very appropriate for putting in a copy, for a bride to put in a copy of the wedding invitation that she was using to invite people to her wedding. And so I thought should be right at the front, but also I need these extra bits from cardstock.
And I like how you layered them. You layered them in height so that they can be seen as multiple pages, so you know to look further.
Yes, and that beautiful little trim across the top of the pocket is one of the zip strips from the paper pack. I used almost all, I think, of the zip strips, and even I kind of inked up the edges to make them look separate and dimensional a bit, and I so enjoyed working with this paper pack. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I love how it has a watercolor feel.
Yes. And also, when I was making this, I should say that I didn't have a particular person in mind, or a particular wedding in mind. So, when I was adding in cardstock, I added it in green. Well, the white is the base that you construct it with, but the mats and whatnot are added in greens because I figure every wedding's got green in it. If they've got flowers, they've got leaves, right?
And it's a nice neutral.
So it's a nice neutral. Now, if someone had a scarlet red wedding, you might want to use some scarlet red in there. Or, I don't know anybody who ever did that, but you know what I mean. You can make it fit the person who's going to receive it.
Yep, absolutely.
And if you don't want a wedding album, you can do whatever you like, but this is a wedding album. So that...
So you also made this interactive. So as we go through the pages, you will see various components that are going to be, kind of take, like the pocket. There's ways of adding extra things. You can, like the wedding invitation and things. Also just snapshots. You could just tuck snapshots of things in there. And so on this page, it does a few things. I'll let you describe what's happening here.
Well, I made this album a few months back, so you may have to do it so that I can see what it's doing. But obviously, that first page is a flip up. And so behind it, you've got just pattern paper on which you can lay out photos. I tried to size it so that 2 pretty standard size photos would fit on there. If they were horizontal, but it's up to the person who owns the album and who's had the wedding to decide how they want to put all the photos.
I like how too, as you flip through, there's different stickers and embellishments. So this one has "Celebrate This Moment," and as you flip through this one, it says "You Make Me So Happy."
Yes, I thought page 1 which is this page, would be about the engagement. So, invitation in the pocket, and if you have a photo, the engagement was begun at an event, you could have a photo of two hands together, a photo of the engagement ring if you have one. I say that because I got my engagement ring on about our 15th anniversary, but
Yep.
a lot of people get them before the wedding. So that's what I had decided.
Yep.
That was in my mind.
And then you've got
page 1.
And then you've got different layers that open up. And so you could
then
have
flip out as well.
a whole photo spread here. Again, with a nice little
absolutely.
sentiment.
Yes, it's almost like a double layout, when you think of it. And you can put other things in it too. If you got engaged at a baseball game, stick your tickets in there.
Yeah.
Like these are memories that we're trying to preserve here.
And this outside flap, I like that you've put a little bit of magnet here, so that as you're flipping through the pages, the flaps aren't wobbling.
I tried to use enough magnets to keep it kind of organized and keep it together. And they're put on before you add your pattern paper, so they're out of sight.
Yeah, and
but
then
they do help a lot.
As I'm turning the paper here, this lovely little edge piece actually pulls out, which is a nice little hideaway spot in between each different page.
Yes, and I used the dark green because that's a nice color to mat a photo on. So you can add more photos to front and back of that piece that pulls out. Comes out all the way.
Yep.
It's just it's like a little pocket, and that lacy edge, that's just a really old edge punch.
Yep.
That
you could use a thin
I
cut,
really like,
a border thin cut for that. You could even cut it out on a Cricut.
You could do it however you like. It's entirely up to you.
Okay, and then as we get on to this next page, it's got some interesting features.
These are pages 2 and 3, I call them, and the title in my mind was about us. So this is who the bride and groom are.
Yeah, and there's this little sentiment
what they like to do
here that says love at first sight.
Uh-huh. And that, on the left page, if you can flip that up, it's got room for more photos. It's got some stickers. That bird cage, did I allow for a photo to be tucked behind it, or is it stuck down tight?
It's stuck down, yeah.
It's stuck down.
But you could do it. You could do it as a tuck.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
now, what that actually is what they call a belly band in the mini album making world. And you can tuck little things in behind it. So I just made some things that you can add more photos to, or
a nice spot for journaling too.
Journal little remembrances, yes.
And they just tuck, and actually you could fit more than just 2 things in there. There's lots of space.
Oh heavens, yes. I just put those in.
And then this side does the same thing as well. It flips up.
Yes.
Like that. And again, it's got the magnet to keep it closed. So it flips up for more space and then out.
Yeah. So here is an example of where I used just the green cardstock. I believe the color was called Sage.
Yep.
Because it was coordinated with the lovely papers. And I say lovely in quotation marks because that's the name of the paper pack. And that little plaidi sort of tucky thing, that's some more the zip strips put to good use.
Yes, here on the edge. And a little hidden moment. When you take the tags out, you can see this cute little stickers that are on the side that were hidden behind.
Okay, I couldn't see that, Monica, when we started chatting about that page. But yes, that's called a side pocket.
Yep.
And inside the front cover for the invitation, then we have a vertical pocket, so it's a pocket at the top. This is a side pocket, so you can tuck more things in behind it. It's just amazing how many photos and memorabilia and stuff that you can get into a mini album.
I like the different patterns in this paper pack. We've got these lovely little multicolored hearts that kind of have all the different colors of the pattern paper. And then back here we had these blue and yellow and pink florals. And then on the cover and this front page, we had one that was more just leaves, more greenery with little white flowers and some butterflies. So we've seen a nice variation in size of pattern and design of pattern.
Yep.
And again, each page as we turn has that extra little pocket in the side. Ooh, look at this one.
Yes. Isn't that gorgeous paper? I was going to say that's my favorite, but I hesitate to say that because, they're all my favorites. I love this paper packet. So these are what I would call pages 4 and 5. And I thought that this would be a nice place to put in photos from a bridal shower.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or shower, because sometimes you have more. You might have a family one, you might have a friends from school one. I mean, you might have a workplace shower, you might have any number,
So you've got your little watering can here for showering.
You noticed.
Yep. So then on this side, you've got this flap that opens in towards the page, which I think is a little bit different from most of the pages.
Yep.
And it's got a cute little house here that was added in. And then it flips out again. Now let me make sure I'm in the screen here. And again. So I know. You've made a nice big spread as well.
Yes. Absolutely.
Which, if you're having a shower, you're going to have photos of all the guests and
sure,
things like that.
Yep. Yep. And I didn't map them, put little individual mats for each photo. I just did the mats for the whole page in this part, thinking that if you had a photo op booth, where people were taking their own individual pictures, you might have to or want to use smaller size. So I just left it up to the user, the person who will eventually get this album.
And then on this side, we've got the flip up again. It's nice when an album has these interactive elements because it, if you're showing this album to somebody, it's like there's little secret surprises. They might not obviously see where things are.
Absolutely.
And so
I should give you a little secret. I was saying how useful and beautiful the zip strips are, but this particular right-hand page, when I was putting the decorative papers on it, I had little pieces, and I didn't have a piece of that floral paper large enough to cover the whole sheet.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So I put them together and used the zip strips as kind of like seam binding.
That's a great idea.
Cover up
yep.
Cover up with the paper too. And, I love zip strips, and these are beautiful ones.
Yeah. And then again, on this side, we've got the pocket that pulls out, but there's also this little half moon cutout where you can add items in here as well. So you've got two pockets on the side of this one. a little unexpected,
Absolutely.
an unexpected bit, which is nice. If you are doing
Yep.
this for your wedding, you could even tuck in, this is for your shower. Well, if your soon-to-be spouse sends you a nice little note or something, you can tuck it in there and it's a little more private.
Absolutely.
You get to keep
Absolutely.
it, but not everybody gets to read it.
No, unless you want them to.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, in this
like
page, we
think
move.
about Monica 20 years later when your own
Yeah.
children are contemplating marriage, perhaps.
Yeah.
You can show them some of those things and bless their little hearts.
Yeah.
Now, this stripe paper is another gorgeous paper from the lovely paper pack.
That's beautiful.
And these 2 pages are about the wedding party. So when I say wedding party, I don't mean party as in that sense. I mean bridesmaids,
Groomsmen and
yes. And, we take a lot of those pictures at weddings, so I thought that would be really perfect
yeah.
for them.
And quite often, as we're kind of going through in a bit of a chronological order too, quite often those photos happen before the ceremony.
Yes.
So, and
That's right.
this is again another flip up page. And then this time the whole page flips. So you flipped up this portion, and then the whole thing flips, including the flap.
Yep.
So
that makes a beautiful opportunity for a layout
yeah.
of, your bridesmaids, your best man, best lady, whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Maid of honor. Maid of honor.
In our wedding, we had a maid of honor and a what did we call the other one? A person of honor.
I don't know, but she was a lovely.
Yep. Oh, honor attendant. That's what we had. We didn't have a best man. We had an honor attendant. So.
Perfect.
And you know what, Mom?
Just lovely.
These colors work really well with my wedding because I had green and purpley, and I think all the different shades of purple we had would work in with this blue.
Oh yes. Oh, that shade of blue, the color of the year blue, is called bluebell. It's very, very. It's not a neutral, but it's so close and so soft and so. Appropriate for almost any situation. You could take a row of guys in gray suits and they'd look beautiful on a background using that color.
Yep. It lends.
And the right hand page is a little bit different.
Yeah, it flips up, but it flips up in multiple layers, and they get progressively larger, which you don't notice at first because of the stripe. It kind of blends in. So as we flip up, there's 1, and then 2, and then a 3rd layer. And then again, this full-size page. So I like how you use the same pattern paper, that it's the stripe, but on the flaps you have it horizontally. And then on the back main page, it's the vertical.
Yes.
So you can put lots
I love those butterflies and flowers.
I know the stickers that come with the lovely pack are really lovely. We're gonna use that word a lot, I think.
They are.
And
yes, whoever named this paper pack was brilliant.
Yes, because that's the word we all reach for when we're describing it.
Okay, so as we turn over this other signature,
yeah, this page we've got this band that goes horizontally as a belly band.
Yes, that's right.
And here's another one, and we've seen this before, but I don't think we mentioned it, was this pretty yellow gingham pattern paper.
Yes, isn't that lovely?
Yeah, and then another of the zip strips too.
Whether the wedding happens an elegant, fashionable hotel with, chandeliers and everything, or whether it's a barn wedding out in the country, or near on a beach, these papers just work. And these 2 pages are to save photos from the ceremony.
Yeah, and I like how you've got the camera here.
Yep.
And then on this side, we've got the Here Comes the Bride. Now that was from a different compliments collection, I believe.
Yes,
not from the Lovely.
If anybody wanted those, they are old, but I have several, and I could part with one of them. If someone was really in love with this album and wanted to try making it.
And then this one is going to flip down. And on the back side, we've got this sage green cardstock. So a nice neutrally page. Yes. And then this portion, get a hold of it, flips up. So again, we're back to these multicolored florals. And then tipping up the back of this, again, to match the bottom, is the sage green. And then we're going to flip out. So by the time you get this all flipped out, you have a huge area in which to put photos.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm
because
almost off the screen. It's so big.
It's lots of photos get taken of the wedding ceremony.
Yep.
And of course, I didn't title my pages. I mean, if they could be titled any way the bride chose.
And you've got this sticker here on this side that has the I do, which works well with the ceremony.
Well, yes.
It's nice too on this page, because there's a lot of things happening around ceremony photos. There's people watching, and then there's, the officiating people, and the bridal party, and the flowers, and the event space. It's nice that this is just plain, so that the photos are the thing that stand out and can be busy enough already that you maybe didn't want pattern paper on this.
They're just, well, especially if the clothing, their bridesmaids' clothing or whatever, especially if it happens to be patterned.
Yep.
At all. And of course, the magnet holds that down flip up so that it doesn't, when you stand your album up,
it stays put. Nothing falls out.
Yep.
And then again, the nice little tuck spot where you can add even more photos.
Yeah.
Or thoughts on the day. Or you could put your wedding vows in there. If you wrote your own or whatever.
Yes. I hadn't thought of that, but that's a great idea.
And here we're coming up to another pattern paper that we haven't seen before. I'm going to just lift this up.
No, it's part of the pack too. Usually, close to my heart paper packs have 3 double-sided pages, so 6 different pattern papers, which is wonderful. But this particular paper pack has twice as many. It has 6 double-sided pages, so that's where you get all those different beautiful paper designs.
And then here we've got just one flap that comes open. I think a lot of people call this a Dutch door, where there's different sort of flaps that overlay of different sizes. Okay. And then it's backed again with the light sage green. I like this one because it's a stripe without being fully a stripe. It's got sort of these drawn lines in the blue, and then it's got the vines and flowers, so it gives you the stripe effect without being a solid stripe.
Yeah.
And then we've got these on this side. I guess I had this open already.
I should tell you, I thought that this double page would be good for photos of the reception.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that stripe could fade into the background a little more than, say, bright, busy floral or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah. And you've got these flaps here that are, and here's the one that's a smaller size. And even though this is a smaller size, if you were doing like 3x3 photos, you could have a pair of them here.
Absolutely.
You could also put your menu if you wanted to talk about the food that you had. And of course, there's cake here. Yep. It's all about the cake.
Yes.
And these two pages mirror each other, don't they? This one has the flap, so they both have flaps.
They do. I love the fact. I tried to mirror in the paper, but at least one of the signatures has to have, in my particular opinion, has to have a symmetrical duplicated patterns design on each side.
Yeah.
So there's room for all kinds of photos of the reception, the food table, the people sitting at the head table, making speeches, all those gorgeous photos.
Yep.
That I remember from your wedding.
Yes, indeed. And then the, again, a pull out on the side, and then we're going on to the last page. I've lost count of which number this is now.
Well, the reception was pages 10 and 11.
There you go.
So on your left is page 12.
Yeah.
And this one I thought could be photos of gifts with thanks. So
it has a flap that goes up and a flap that goes down, which gives you a lot of opportunity to add photos.
Absolutely.
And then this horizontal pocket. And here you've embellished with a strip of the pattern paper rather than a zip strip. So it's a little bit wider, adding a little more color. Oh, and this pink dot. That's one that we haven't had yet.
I'm trying to think whether that might be something that I used from I think that's part of the True Love. No,
that's from the Lovely paper pack. Yeah, that's the back side of the vertical stripe.
Okay.
So that's a nice one too, because it has pattern, but it's really subtle. And so it just kind of, it could be cardstock almost, but it does have that little bit of pattern.
By the time I got to this page, and a few others, as I'd already mentioned, I was using my little bitty scraps. So that one tag or journaling card, whatever you call it, where I've got the little squares, I just happened to have that little extra, it's probably a 1x3 or something.
Yep.
Piece of paper, and just
added it in.
Used it.
Yep, that's right. You use everything. And then we've got, this is just the pink Swiss dot by itself. And then this pretty floral as well. All backed with the sage. And again, they're all different sizes, so that adds some interest when you're looking through.
Yeah.
And then our final page
12 is the inside of the back cover. And this is all about the honeymoon.
And it says, "This is our happily ever after."
Yes.
And it opens up this way. And I'm going to shift over a little bit so you can see all this that's happening. So here you've got just the cardstock. One thing I find about projects like this, when you add in pages that are just cardstock, it's a spot to rest your eye.
That's true too, yes.
And here you've got a vertical zip strip. And another big area for a layout. We've got the Just Married here.
Yeah, those are from the sticker sheet.
Yep.
It comes with this pattern paper.
So you can add in your honeymoon photos. You can add in, if you've are setting up house for the first time, this is a nice spot to add those things. And also you could show photos of some of your wedding gifts. where you've put them.
Yes,
you know, the special ones.
You didn't have enough on the page. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your first, you know, kind of long-term home, I guess. But...
Yeah. And then the back cover you covered as well with, again, the dark green. I think that's evergreen that you've used there.
Yes. That's evergreen is the color. Evergreen and sage are the colors that come with are used to design the paper pack.
When I was looking at this album the first time, I thought this would be a great spot to have that photo, you know, of the bride and groom hand in hand walking away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's you know, the end of the day, and I think that would be cute there too. So that is a lovely album. And I think it would make a perfect gift, even if you weren't making it for yourself. You could make it for somebody else.
A wonderful gift for a very dear friend or a family member or whatever. Yeah.
So we just thought we'd show you, I'll just move that over to the side, in our core catalog, where you can find the lovely paper pack and all that's included in that. So on page number 8 and 9, you will see lovely, and you can see some artwork that was done using the paper pack, layouts and different things. So in this collection, you can get the just the papers. You can get the papers and the sticker sheet, and you can also get the coordinating cardstock. And I'll just lift this up so you can see. The coordinating cardstock comes in ballerina, bluebell, evergreen, sage, and toffee. So those are good indications of what things coordinate with the paper pack. And so I'll let Mom just talk about these patterns as I'm holding up. In this paper pack, you get a few more pages than you normally do in a paper pack. You get 12 sheets of paper. So you get 2 each of 6 double-sided designs, and then the coordinating sticker sheet. So the first page you get, these 2 patterns are back to back. Now, I don't think you used this pattern at the top here in...
It's a gorgeous pattern, but I didn't use it in this. I've used it for other things, but I didn't use it in this particular one. I've seen it on cards, and it's just beautiful. But I wanted as much of the floral side to use as I could.
So this one it's kind of a foliage, but it's done in a geometric pattern, as you can see here in the close-up little spot. And on the back side is this really nice large size floral. I like how they mix up the sizes of the design. So this is kind of the largest floral. And then the next page is the pink dot and the stripe back to back. I like also how they have sort of the neutrally side, and then they have the really more patterned side to each page. And then the third one is the yellow check or gingham, and it's backed with the sort of mid-size floral in all the different colors. And then this is another pattern that you didn't use in the layout, and this is more of a toffee gridded textile-y looking pattern, I think.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could use that for any kind of cards or scrapbooking layouts. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. And then the back side of that is that vertical stripe effect with the florals and the hand-drawn lines. And then here's another one that wasn't really featured, which is sort of the blue bell. This looks Art Deco to me almost, or a little.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and it's really pretty.
Beautiful cards made with that.
Yeah. So if you wanted to make projects that didn't focus on the florals, You've got the back sides that are all very much patterned, and they're different sizes of pattern. Like this is a nice big pattern, and then as we go to the next one, we've got these small little hearts. So you could do it with patterns that are not necessarily floral, but are all in the same color family and have different weight to them. Lots of options with this one. And then the back side is the beautiful...
What my mind is just telling me, Monica, is that pattern with the toffee.
Yes,
the toffee
this one here.
I didn't use at all. Wouldn't that be great to use for layout or cards with the Serenity paper pack?
Oh, yeah.
Which all featured toffee.
Yep, toffee and bluebell. And there's a beautiful floral in that one as well. And mixed with that one would be great. I like how if you know what colors are in the paper packs, you can really mix in from other collections. Especially when there's ones that are a little more neutral like those, where it's a texture pattern, but it's not an in-your-face pattern. They really blend well. And then on the back side, there's this the green foliage with the butterflies, which is really pretty. And then the last page, which I don't know if Mom can see, it's the multicolored little hearts. And then at the bottom, this is one that you didn't use either. It's the sort of the leafy sprigs. So there's pink and yellow and I think toffee little leafy sprigs there too. And that's a nice pattern to incorporate as well.
I went with the heart one on top.
Yep. Which, you know, when you're looking at wedding, it's all about the love and the hearts. So that is a really, really, really great collection. It can be used for so many things. It's not specific to anything. You can do a garden party, a birthday. You can do just about any occasion you'd want to think of. But then if you're also doing cards, it lends itself to so many different occasions as well. And then as you incorporate, I'll lift this up again so you can get a little bit of a close-up of the sticker sheet. So you'll recognize in there things like the little houses and the bird cage. And there's one here with a bicycle, which I don't think you used in the album, or maybe I just missed it. And lots of little sprigs and florals and butterflies and hearts, of course. And also a couple different border strips as well. So it's a great collection. I would encourage anybody to purchase it. It's on my wish list. I think it's going in my next order. And you think you need to order some more too, right, Mom?
I definitely do.
Yep.
Wouldn't that bicycle be fun in the at the end of the album where you're talking about a honeymoon? I know so many couples who have gone on honeymoon trips with bicycles. You know, they drive along the beaches and
yep,
sounds like fun to me.
Perfect. All right, well there you have it. A lovely mini album made with the lovely paper pack. And thanks, Mom, for sharing that and creating that. And I believe you have instructions if anybody wants to recreate an album like this that you will make available.
Yes.
Yep. And
I have to type them up. I'll make a PDF and send it to you.
Great. All right, so thanks for joining us today and having a look through here. And thanks, Mom, for being on the line here. Even though we're not in the same room, we're still together. All right.
These are the days we're in.
That's true. All right. Wonderful. Thank you.